It's your boy Quantum Demetrio here with a live Q&A. Hope everybody is having a wonderful day today and ready to receive some truth. It is currently 8:08 CDT here in Austin, Texas, Central Daylight Time. Let us know where you're from in the comments if you would like. We are going to say some positive thoughts for you and send them your way. If you hear anything in the background, like my AC running, let me know. I'm currently using my mic that has a software that should block that out. I was having some technical difficulties yesterday and a little bit today. Nothing major, just some random stuff that was going on, but we should be having all that fixed out very soon in order to go live more randomly, as well as the scheduled lives on Mondays and Fridays. We're going to do 10 a.m. That's when I have most of my energy and we're ready to share the message, if you will. I'm more of a night person, so I stay up fairly late and I wake up early, but I like to take naps throughout the day if possible. A lot of the times I don't get the opportunity these days, but I have to have a way to recharge. I'm an introvert. I don't know if you've been doing the numerology studies with me, but I would recommend you taking the numerology test just to check it out and see where you're at on this. You might find some insights into what challenges that you could be facing or what you might be coming up into. So everything is a cycle. We go through ups and downs throughout our life. And this is why I built this program, so you can get the truth of it all. So there are 6 key topics that I tend to discuss throughout my program. And I believe these topics do not have any particular truth. Rather, it is more of the lies that have been told, because we must create our own philosophy and truth. But these core topics have created an identity for each one of us, and we tend to follow them and get pulled and back and forth by the emotions that they create due to societal structures or societal pressure, if you will. When I learned the truth, I figured out that most of this stuff that people hold so valuable and let it control their entire life, sometimes it's not necessarily what it was made to be. And so everything for me is an example of an inward understanding to balance our emotions and control our future, if you will, manifest our reality, because that's all we are currently doing and always have been doing throughout our life, is creating and manifesting our own reality based on the vibrational frequency of our consciousness. So the consciousness has been around forever, since there's no time frame in it, but we gather a part of it and experience this through the consciousness, or you could say God's eyes. And the full purpose of it is to get the full experience, and then to allow your personality, your truth, your own innate spiritual absoluteness to dominate, or to experience in itself. So if you don't allow the breakdown of these different truths, then you're technically living a life that someone else was created. And technically you created it as well, but you created the life that you aren't meant to live. So I believe everybody does have a purpose, an innate purpose that is individual to themselves, as well as a collective purpose. So there's a lot to do with that. But for me, purpose was put at the very back, because if you don't have any of these other truths down, then your purpose is going to be a little bit off, if you will. Okay. Because a lot of people tend to think their purpose is their job. But for me, it's a lot more than that. And again, there's the collective purpose and there's the human purpose. So you have to have that connection and that unity, that oneness, to understand what duality is and to have that little bit of duality from the ego to the spirit to the soul. It's all part of you. And if you're just living by one way of life, then you're not getting to experience the fullness of your truth, of your joy, of your peace and happiness. That's what this is all about, is attempting to have that throughout life. And most people are running around a little bit in shambles, in fear, and mixed emotions. There's so much to do with it, but it again, the other side of it is just having that knowledge. I'm gonna go silent for 1 second just to see if the AC was being picked up in the background. It doesn't seem to be being picked up from my end, at least. So I think I'm gonna click record and we're going to just see if I can do some channeling through my numerology or do some new science that I have just recently learned, discoveries. I'm constantly on the quest for knowledge, understanding, and also confirmation from my theories and programs. I've realized that since, like I said, this was information was pulled from the ether or the consciousness, then I'm not the only one getting these downloads, and there are tons of other spiritual teachers, scientists, physics who have also started and begin to adopt this same theory or speak of it in the same way. So we all have our own terminologies, so to speak. But I feel like this barrier between truth and understanding, or even science and spirituality, is coming to us a huge crash right now, that people need to start to make up their own minds to decide what they believe is true. Is it science, religion, spirituality? Is it something totally different? So there's tons of different theories that even I have created my own theory about life, and hopefully I don't call it the theory of everything, but hopefully it will be able to encompass everything, of course. So I do have the whiteboard in the back that we'll be going through with scientific lectures. Each one of my topics has a physics lesson. It has a life lesson, and you can take the course to complete it. And as you go through each 5 courses, what you're doing is you're gaining the knowledge and the wisdom into your spirit or into your psyche, so that then you can go experience it on your own. I happened to do it backwards, where I experienced it first, then I had to learn about it. And I believe this was very stressful for me. It was a little bit problematic, and I'm really thankful that I did get the information when I did, because I'm not sure that without it I could have came out on the other side. Basically, I would have figured out a way to not have to stay here on this plane, because with the knowledge and information that I had received didn't allow me to. And now that I know that all these truths had to be broken down, now I can see my purpose and realize that what caused that emotional destruction or that chaos, self-sabotage behavior, depression, suicidal, addiction, you name it. Basically, all the negative emotions had came down on me very hard from living a very low vibrational state, when my life's purpose is meant to be higher up and to be able to communicate my truths with accuracy, with intelligence, and with confidence. So it took me a long time, a lot of studies, a lot of beating myself up, and not knowing for sure if this was actually real, if it was something that I can grasp onto, even to share. And now that it's been about 8 years now, the time kind of gets fluctuated, but I was around 33 or 30 to 33 when the main mental shift, is what I call it, happened for me. And it was all from within the breath and within the body, studying each part of the body, each flaw, each pain point, each memory, and allowing water to activate this informational channel, if you will. And now I'm able to almost instantly, whenever I need to, is go into this zone of channeling and gathering information to basically soothe the soul, because we all have challenges, we all have different things going on, and if we don't have that solution, then we're going to be distracted. So a lot of the things is having fear. So when the fear comes up, what do? We distract ourselves by doing something else, or we complain about it. If you have any complaints on any 5 of these topics, like if you're complaining about not having the right love partner, the right family, if your families are in shambles, any one of these topics, if you have any complaints, that means you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the understanding of truth. Because once you do, you'll see that everything is actually perfect. And it's an example to show you, if you're having a complaint in that, these are topics that actually go within the soul and the human body. So these are symptoms of an underlying emotion, if you will. So we go through first principle methods to see what's causing this need for this certain thing, or this anger towards this certain thing. And it's usually, they all break down to one of these 5 topics. Life does. Negative emotions in my eyes. So I put enlightenment in there because sometimes it can be spiritual, but it is mostly physical. We tend to be physical beings, and we tend to focus on the physical plane rather than the spiritual or emotional or mental. And this is what causes most of our problems. We see that we want security through love, through business, through finance, through all types of different things. And when we don't have this is all material things to distract us, and basically from understanding that we are pure, we are all we need in life. And once we gain this understanding, a lot of that stuff becomes arbitrary, and our true purpose and our true meaning gives us the life that allows that abundance to flow. So money is a frequency, abundance is a frequency, and it flows towards that area. It doesn't flow towards negativity, it doesn't flow towards um a lot of these other things. And you may say, well, how are these evil people? No, there is no evil, guys. This is a frequency that they hold. They're having this money for certain frequency reasons, and some of them it is inherited, or it could be generational wealth that will eventually be taken if they don't adopt this frequency. So a lot of them end up having to adopt it. And they don't have to believe in God, they don't have to believe in anything, but they have to carry a frequency of love, truth, and what is it, receiving. So it's a current of receiving and flowing, and you have to be able to have it come and go inside of your life. Most people aren't able to throw things away for some reason, and if you're not able to throw stuff away, then you don't have the receiving flow. All right. And a lot of people aren't able to waste. So a lot of lies, waste, a lot of these things are hard to do, or acknowledge that you already do it, but you're doing it in a way of not knowing and not understanding. But if you were actually to adopt that mentality of give, take, and give more, if anything, then you will adopt that frequency of love, truth, and abundance, and you won't have to have a fear of lack. So it's very, very difficult, because when you have zero money in your account, or if you have zero jobs lined up, and you have no money, no food on the table, and you have tons of bills backed up, it's so easy to get stressed out, fearful, and doubt, and try to run towards something that you might have already been through before to acquire those needs that to be met. But if you allow that second of trust and that hour of love, by the end of it, I guarantee you that what you need will be taken care of. The needs will be met in some way or another. And if you doubt, fear, just lay back and do nothing, then of course nothing is going to come out of that. But if you trust, you love, you do your next best thing. Sometimes it's just going for a walk around the block, going outside to get a little bit of sun, drinking a glass of water, hopping in the shower for an hour, doing some laundry, whatever it may be, throwing everything away in your house if you have to, to find a balance and gain some clarity of what the next step's going to be in your life, so you can have peace, so you can have that flow of frequency of energy and abundance. And it took me a very long time. Like I've said, I'm in this 8-year phase of my life, and I know that what I've done is going to pay off. I just have to have that authority to speak truth and um, give what I have been given freely. So this is the reason why I decided to open up my program, which I was going to charge $10,000 to join a 2-week retreat and have everything given to you on a silver platter. I decided to extend it out to anybody that wants to do it on their own pace. If you decide you want to take a two-week retreat course with me, I'll do it for free as well. It will be online, rather than the in-person one that we were going to do. If anybody wants to do an in-person one, we can even schedule that. We'll probably do, you'll probably have to cover your own expenses for the time that you're with me, but other than that, everything else will be free. Okay, guys, all my knowledge has been given to me freely, and I'm very thankful for it. And the best thing I could do is give it away to show my gratitude. I'm going to try and stay on. Hopefully somebody will pop on and ask a question. If you happen to see this at a later time, feel free to ask a question. I will be here for you no matter what in the DMs. This is a live talk. If I'm making any mistakes, let me know. If I'm going too fast, I can slow down. I tend to talk extremely fast, especially around the people that I know. And sometimes that gets me in a little bit of trouble, and I'm usually always doing something. So this is my personality. I'm constantly doing tons of things at once. Scattered brain. I'm not the most organized person, but thankfully with AI, I've been able to do so much. I believe AI is the wave or the future, and it's here for everyone to stay, to help us. And it could be needing to have some control, some restrictions, but we'll see in the future. Right now, it's doing so much for me. It's creating notes. I've got it connected up to all my computers. They all talk to each other, my phones. And so I can create, it goes off daily, creates my daily schedules. It puts my projects in order. It knows all my jobs. It knows everything that I got going on in my life. And I've dedicated my life to training AI and utilizing it to its fullest, because this is what has allowed me to scale my business in the last couple months. And I'm about to revamp it, my model, scale it up 10x. So we're looking for actually 2 clients for the rest of 26 that are going to be $15,000 a month, and they should be bringing in over $1 million, of course, a month. But we also looking for a few more that are in the middle clients for $1,500 a month. All of our other clients that we have must go on to a $500 a year tier in order to keep their website maintenance optimized, as well as growth, to strategically grow their brand. I don't believe in working in any more one-offs, because websites are changing and evolving so much. You used to be able to have a website as a business card and you go run your brand, leave that website doing nothing. Nowadays, websites need to be evolving every day, almost putting new content, new keywords, new engaging content, linking with your Facebook, social media. All this needs to be in play if you want to have a brand to grow in 2026, or just to even have a business. I don't believe in creating any businesses anymore that are just going to stay static or just have one person on their team. I believe if you're going to create some business or create something with the passion that you have, besides art or maybe doing a podcast, you don't need a lot of people. But if it's going to be a business that is in the service industry or the retail industry, you must have a bigger vision or create your own website. Don't hire somebody like me to do that. So it is super easy. You can find somebody online, but our company is moving to an upscale growth engine machine type of business, and we don't want to have static websites anymore. We want to have growth engine machines. All right, that's our main goal for everybody that has signed up with ATX WD in the past, or ATX Web Developer Hosting. We're sending out that notification, the messages to go ahead and get ready. And we're going to do some of it for free and grandfather some people in that I believe is almost there or has that drive. Some people don't have that drive, and they're not. That's okay. You know, I was there at some point, and we just want to stay small, want to stay local, don't want to get too big, don't want to, mix nobody up, don't want to confuse nobody. For me, you have to get into the grind of it, and you got to get a little bit greasy, you know what I mean? Or sticky, whatever you want to get be, but don't don't just try to be like perfect is what I'm saying. Don't try to be one way because you don't know. I mean, especially if it's like a corporate type of way, we're moving into business branding and models. Even corporate companies are adopting what I call behavioral branding or company culture. Company culture is the best thing that you can do, and even join with your own company. And I believe it's just a way of life. We've been living it wrong for too long as a society, and that was okay. We needed that to in order to create structure, in order to create an economy, in order to create individuality. We had to have this certain influence. So you can call it all types of different things. Some people call it brain, um, mind control, or this and that. And with the reality of it is, spiritual truths create a consciousness of love, and everybody who is involved in it has to have love. And if you're receiving it in some type of negative or hateful way, means that you have a desire to be of that nature. You have a desire to see that experience, and you need to, because you don't have to do it in person, because some of it is technically mm, negative, could be evil, could be greedy, all these different things. But you still have to understand it, and mostly see how you do it in your own life. This is what a lot of people don't realize, is that they either become angry at something, and if they don't see why they end up becoming that thing, is because we actually have a little bit of that inside of us, and it only, if the more anger we put towards it, the more closer we get to releasing it. And the releasing it is the experiencing it. This is why enlightenment goes into the mind. We're able to utilize the power, my camera just utilize the power of the mind in order to create any experience, to have that understanding or reality, in order to put it into a perspective. Because like I said, anything you hate, anything you fear, anything, there's a reason behind it, and it's only speaking to the inside of you. We can only first of all speak to ourselves, and we can only see what the consciousness or the internal talk allows us to see, the perspective. So think about it, guys, and notice how whatever is internal is coming out. All right, look for numbers, synchronicities through numbers. Look for synchronicities through sounds. Look for synchronicities through colors. Even look through synchronicities from emotions, and you'll realize exactly what is going on and how long it has been going on. Lots of people are playing their life in a loop of subconscious programming. So this loop is gonna throw you off, and they're also living a play where they're blaming everybody else, and they're thinking the influence is from everybody else. But when they finally realize it, they're going to see that everybody else has been working for them, has been doing everything for them. That's kind of like the Truman Show. How That's why I bring it up. How he finally realized everybody's doing everything for me, but it's the reverse. We are doing everything for everybody else, and we also doing everything for ourselves. So it's like a simultaneous kind of a loop trick. But if you just say, I'm doing it all for myself, then you'll realize that then you can help people, or then you're seeing that now I'm actually doing it for other people as well. So we're interacting in this cosmic dance, if you will. You could say we're inside of the heart of God. Some people have said this, and through our perspective, the only thing we can see is our limited cosmos. They call it the background radiation, or the visible universe. So this is all we have, is our visible universe, and we can construct ideas, theories, and truths through particle physics, and through light, and through the mind. So this is how we evolve as human beings and conscious beings of the truth, of the light, and of God. If anybody has any questions, again, in the future, I'll be back on for more live Q&As. Hopefully you can join in. It's a Thursday. We'll be back on Friday. But hope you enjoyed it, and let me see how long it's been. It's only been like 20 minutes. We'll go on for another 20 minutes if possible. See if we can get into another topic. Hmm. So much crazy stuff going on YouTube and in the world. It's hard to know like where people are at, and I stay totally in my lane, studying physics and consciousness, as well as doing lots of marketing, of course, and AI stuff. So the problems of the world and all this other stuff I really don't know about. So if you want to bring them up, I can probably bring information from the ether that I've heard and consciousness and stuff in order to answer them. So my mind is constantly open. Like I'll walk by the TV and somebody has the news on. My mind and my spirit picks it up, even though I'm not listening and I don't really care about it. My mind picks it up, so I'll be able to, oh, I heard about that, I remember hearing about that, and I can kind of put two and two together, or just simply look them up to figure out that deal. So again, ask me anything and I'm going to bring my spiritual perspective into the picture, and if there's something I don't know, I'll just simply tell you I don't know. um, Even though I do tend to think at one point I knew everything or I know everything, but the truth is I'm a learning being, and that God gave us this ability to constantly continue to learn, and there's no possible way to know everything. Okay. So when I say I know everything, I mean I can know everything and I will know everything, but I'm not saying that I happen to know it everything now. Okay. So I believe that as we evolve in our next conscious body, after we die, we go into another conscious body, physical form. Then that one will gain more insight, and uh, um, we'll be in another higher dimension, if you will. Where we can technically look back and see in a certain way, kind of similar to how we can look back at our ancestors' lives and stuff like that, and kind of play out some of them. It's very similar. But if you've had like any conscious awakenings or any conscious experiences with out of body or astral travel, you'll see how technically connected we all are towards each other, as well as how connected we are to the past and the future. So time doesn't technically exist, or time doesn't exist in the spiritual quantum world. And again, we are all quantum beings. They figured out that life has quantum properties, and they're working on the quantum computer with biology now. I believe that's the future, is having biology, water, some type of biological interface as the um, computer processing power, or CPUs or whatever causes that bits and ones basically to be simultaneously interacting and creating basically all the digital platforms we see. That's a quantum thing, but they want to have it to where superpositions and um, entanglements and stuff like that can be happening as well, and that would just basically speed up the processing power a lot more faster. It's fast as heck right now, but there are some questions and some things that I can ask um, any AI that will eventually confuse it and make it make a mistake. So I'm constantly correcting them. I'm constantly um, changes on them, and they're actually very very good at corrections and making future implementations that I have recommended. So keep working with it. If you think the AI is a little slow for you or making too many mistakes, then unfortunately you're just slow yourself and you're impatient. I'll tell you that much. Too many people are just don't give themselves enough credit to do stuff that they don't realize they could do, and overcome small challenges. Because once you overcome that small challenge, you'll see how easy it is to do it again the right way next time. If anything happens with AI making a mistake, that means you prompted it wrong. There was a mistake in your prompt, not the AI, for the most part. because it's all about how you prompt it. If you prompt them too much, prompt them too fast, they're gonna make a mistake. You got to give it a clear detail. It's like a kid almost. You're raising a kid. After it gets a little bit older, meaning as it learns you how you act, how you move, how you do things, and as well as how the evolution of the computer itself, it will start to do what it needs to do to get your jobs done. It's doing it for me. And I really, really hope you utilize it. It's a free platform for the most part. I do pay for some of them because they're starting to limit you, but I have to have tons and tons of output. And I understand that there's a little bit of environmental issue with it, and it doesn't sit well with me too much. But I believe my purpose is to get involved and learn it more, so I can, like I said, create a biological interface or help bring about that into society, and just you know um, like if I was able to pull the information out the ether and not need AI completely, that would be very good. But a lot of the information I pull, I have to still look it up, and I still have to have that confirmation. So I didn't need it. I didn't need it 4 or 5 years ago when I actually came into my entire truth, and the program and the systems came into my head. But a lot of the stuff started to get like mixed up, and I couldn't figure out a lot of it, like through my vision opposites. I was like, how in the heck are we always talking to each other? Or death, how in the heck does the information reconform, and how does the information travel? I could not figure it out for the longest, and it made me so mad. It almost drove me to the mental hospital. But I would sit out and next to a tree, and I would say, I'm not going to leave until you tell me what I need to know. And I'd be there for as long as it took, sometimes 30 minutes, sometimes an hour, sometimes 2 to 3 hours. Um, or I'd be in this, just, in the one room, just waiting, just waiting. You need to tell me this, what I need to know about what the hell happened to me that day. And, even after having people, explain it to me, like, yeah, this is normal, we've done this through with ayahuasca, we've done it in meditation sessions, yeah, you're not crazy, it's right. But they couldn't explain it to me, how it's happening, why it's happening, and why it happened to me. And so this is what I really wanted to know. I'm that type of person, like, it's fine, you tell me that crap, but or you had a very similar experience, but it doesn't tell me why or how and when and how can I recreate it. Most importantly, I wanted to, even though it was the most terrifying thing ever, the end part of it was so blissful and so free that I just wanted to figure out how I can get that end part, not necessarily the beginning. Like wouldn't mind going through the beginning now that I know that most likely I'm going to survive. Um, it's just that freedom it gave me at the very end, that peace. It was like I was one with everything. And so I wanted to figure out how to recreate that. And I eventually did. And it requires lots of breathing, meditation, and knowledge. So that's all it is. And you don't even have to, I could do it while I'm driving. It's technically you can do it while you're running. It's a mental state where your brain and heart start to slow down, and it goes in unison. It's called coherence, technically, mind and brain and heart coherence. And you get on that frequency that you're meant to be on. So everyone has their own frequency. You could see 66 thirds up top. I'm a 66 third frequency. You can look your frequency up with numerology, or you can look it up. Yeah, I think it's numerology. So please look it up. Also look up your MBTI personality chart or personality trait. It's very important to know what type of personality you are. I believe it can help you to navigate uh, relationships, businesses, as well as give you some clarity and peace about who you are. Again, this program is made and created only solely so that you can become the master of your life and know exactly who you are from the inside out. If we don't know this, I believe we're all going through a void, and it's unfortunate because the information is right there. It's almost, I say it's right in front of your nose. So there's a lot of other people that are talking about it like this, but it's really right in front of your nose. Pay attention, look, calm your brain, stop having fear, stop doubting, and just look. It's right there. It's a mic, it's a phone, it's a chair. Sometimes sit down, sit your butt on that chair, breathe, breathe, see what's in front of you, gather the light, and you will make it out. You will come out on top. Trust me. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be beautiful. Is it 30 minutes I've been on? Yeah, it's only been 30 minutes. Jeez. Should I have my hat off or on? I think it's a little bit hot in here, so you have a bald head is a little bit sensitive, so I like to keep a hat on top just in case I accidentally hit something. Also to protect my crown chakra energies. If you don't know, energy comes around like a what is it called? Not a vortex. See, I got a blank on that, but let me get my wipe. See if I can remember this. Toroidal field, I think. Toroidal field. So if I'm not mistaken, the toroidal field will come in your crown chakra through your body, out your soles of your feet, and circle back around in about, I think, 8 feet, 30. I can't remember how many feet, but as you it could be actually just the span of your hands, so 6 feet, 5 feet. But as you gain more power, the field will actually extend further and further. So it could possibly actually, and it does extend infinitely. So this is how I believe I'm able to tap into anybody in the world's um, information through the toroidal field and through mycelium network and through water. So the atmosphere itself can help travel water. So if I put the intention out, what's this person doing? How's this person doing? It could be whatever. For long enough, the information can travel without a phone through these particles, through these water particles, to find that person and travel back to you. It's pretty much instantaneously, but sometimes it could take time, like during the day or whatever, at night. During certain times of the year, it could be harder to figure it out, and it's mostly memory that gives you this in intelligence. And that's why I say the memory is in your body, so you can actually, everything you go through, everybody else goes through in life. And so if you realize that, then you'll be able to figure it out. Okay. We all just go through it at different times. That's why it seems a little bit confusing, because like women, men, they go through the same stuff just in different times. And technically all people, so it's called generations, it's called this. And when you're old, you see it. Oh, when you're young, you don't see it as much, but when you're old, you see, oh, I've been a baby, I've been a child, I've been an adult, I've been a grandpa. And so has everybody, so has everybody else, that is above you. And then I don't know, it's kind of weird to explain it at this point, but you see that you've gone through everyone's life pretty much. And that's how I believe when the life flashes before your eyes, you don't only see your life, you see everybody's life. And so you see the good, the bad, the ugly, and it becomes all love at the very end. Hopefully I'll be able to edit this video and put it out on TikTok and clips. If there's anything that people might have missed, hopefully you'll be able to get it later, as well as topics coming up into my head as people actually listen and interact with my social media. I gather some of those insights. I gather some of those what is it? Some of those experiences that I've had from the past, in order to bring it back up to help people that are currently going through it. So as I evolve, and technically as I evolve more, then I won't be able to teach the people who are further back because my consciousness isn't able to pick it up unless somebody asks me. So, or I can try. A lot of the times, I'm trying to tap into where I was before in order to bring about knowledge or insights that could help you on where I was at in the past. So right now, I'm at a higher level of consciousness, and I don't need much maintenance, or I don't need much of this. Technically, a lot of the times I wrestle with just going and doing my own path and living, somewhere where I feel more comfortable and happy. But my life path is technically a 3, and my soul's urge is a 8. So that means, um, but my expression is a 7. So if you know about numerology, my expression is a 7. That means I'm extremely spiritual and I need to know God's mind, basically. But my life path is a 3. That means I'm creative, I can speak well, and I can have a lot of charisma and influence. And then my soul's urge is an 8, which means I want to be very authoritative. I want to be very powerful and secure in finance um, or business or community or structure. Just pretty much everything has to be, um, I like to have a little control of that. So once you learn these numbers, and there's more numbers that you can see where you're at and who you are. Of course, there's 9 numbers, in fact. So everybody has, usually, if you do the whole entire test, you'll have almost all 9 of them for some people, but some of them may repeat, so you won't have every number. But every number has its own meaning for your life, and sometimes it could be the challenges, the things that you need to overcome. Like um, I haven't really looked too much into those, so I'm not really familiar on how that works. But did tell me about some challenges that I was going to have and I've had in the past. I looked up each one of those years that I had challenges, and the numbers coincided and the things that were going on with that year. So we're not so our birthday tells us our numerology chart, and you're not born in a year 1. I was born in, you could be, but I was born in a year 3. So my 1 year birthday, I was in a year 4. Okay, just to put that into perspective. It took me a while to actually want to get into numerology. I thought it was a little bit too paganist or too different, and it didn't really agree with me. I didn't think it was agreeable when I had first looked it up. And I actually created my own numerology chart, which I'll go over later. It's very rudimentary, and it actually kind of coincides with a lot of the other charts. So I'm hesitant to put it out at this time. I believe the other ones are fine and well and dandy. So there's a lot of every society, civilization throughout history, continent, if you will, has every one of them has created their own numerology charts, and some of them, the way they break it down is all the same though. So that's usually the very good part about it. What else? I think I was thinking of creating a numerology charts and went to 12, but that kind of sounds dumb. I believe the personality through the zodiac is um, very similar, and I believe we all go through almost all personalities throughout different times of our lives. But there is an actual, they call it default personality, if you will, that everyone defaults to. So that's what the important part of it is. It's not like your personality is exactly who you are, but it's who you default to, and it's who you mostly are. Okay, that doesn't mean that you can't change to be somebody else or have a different other type of personality. That's not what that means. All right, it just means who your defaults are and who you're likely to feel more comfortable as. If you're an introvert, extrovert, if you're in your feelings, if you're more logical. So there's 4 questions to answer with um, very simple questions. You answer A or B, and if you feel like it might be A and B, do the default one, like when you were a kid, or the one that you would default to without thinking. Ah, Let's see. It says 38 minutes. I do have the chat up. If anybody wants to leave a question, my chats are going to be up now where I can see them and easily answer on the spot when I'm live. So you don't have to wait. You don't have to go to YouTube or Google. And if I do give you the answer, think about it, then eventually go to YouTube or Google just to ensure that it's something that might line up with you, or you might have another insight from somebody else. So I don't want anybody to think that my program is the end all know all, or that it can do something that any other religion promises. I don't believe religion should promise anything. Too many people are living on a promise when you don't have to. You just need to live in truth and wait for truth. Everything comes after that. All the frequencies of abundance, of love, of peace, of manifestation, all that comes after you learn the truth. Okay. So, and the gifts come, at that time as well. And technically that's the main gift. So don't be chasing those gifts. Don't be chasing all that stuff that people promise you, because if you get let down, it's going to be harder to recover. And if you know now, then nice chair, Justin. If you know now, then you don't have to worry about getting duped. All right, don't get duped, my guys. Well, I may do some meditation sessions. I may even do some yoga, tai chi sessions if anybody's interested in that. I don't know if I'm gonna put them out on YouTube. I mean Facebook or YouTube yet, or just gonna be directly onto my website, and we'll have that live platform. So again, join the community if you haven't. There's not many people in there, so if you want, you can easily get to me, get my attention, and we can do a back and forth. You can vent on there, and not a lot of people are going to look at it. You shouldn't be afraid to vent anywhere, in my opinion. Just vent. All right. Speak your truth. It might sound stupid if you haven't been doing a lot of studies, or if you haven't been even thinking about it very much. A lot of the times I say, through vision opposites, say what you were going to say at the end, say it first, and then go from reversed. So go backwards, basically. So it gets the end points out without having all that fluff. Too many people technically lose the middle, so they always either end up remembering the front or the end. So I just say, get the end out in the front, and you don't have to say the front. So you just finish the talk, so you don't have to say too much. Hmm. And I probably will be starting to go live on TikTok. If you haven't already joined the TikTok platform, it might be helpful, it might not be, but either way, that's where I'll be, and I'll probably be going live on there more often, especially later in the nights, or during the days. So just to get more active in the community, especially in the younger generation, where I believe that's going to need it the most. So they need to have this in their systems, so that way when it starts to happen, they can have somewhere to go. Um, a little bit of understanding, if you will. Like I said, I believe schizophrenia is caused by the actual awakening process and enlightenment, and all mental issues actually are part of it. So it's through the societal constructs that created the subconscious programming and the manifesting that we've done in our own lives, and that creates a barrier of truth, because we don't want to accept it. We don't want to say, oh, I did this to my life. How can I have done this? So instead, we just keep doing it, and we accept it, and then eventually we break down at an older age and realize, and it's a little bit too late. But at least you get the truth. I believe everybody. It's kind of in the Bible that everybody. I forgot the line, but basically everybody gets the knowledge and the truth at some point in their life. It could be right before death, when the pineal floods the brain with DMT, or it could be during a near-death experience, or stressful moments, or peaceful meditation moments. but they all get a glimpse of God's face, is what I call it. And nobody else. I've never heard a story where two people see God's face at once, even though at church they're all praising God and they can feel the Spirit. But no, this is a lot different. When you see God's face, or you feel God's presence, however you want to put it, there's no explanation for it, and there's no way you can explain it. Nobody would able to perceive it in your own through your own observation, if you will. So even me attempting to get you to this place is only so that you can experience it on your own, and you can be free and feel the freedom, the power of freedom. So this it, guys. Use your words, use your sounds to heal your body. Use water, and think of vibrations and frequency if you want to be whole and complete, or if you want to be healed. Okay, music, sounds that you create is actually what heals your body. It's actually what gives you parasympathetic stability. So breathe in and out, and flow with your body. Okay, learn the rhythm of your heart. I had to learn about heartbeats and heart rates, and how to check my rate with my hand and calm it down and do all this stuff, because I believe the heart is actually really closely aligned with the frequency of the earth, and how connected you can be with it is actually how long you live. So we'll talk about that on the next series. My guys, I love you, and I am going to be thinking about you. Leave a comment if you need a prayer, or if you need some positive energy coming your way. See you on the next one. Thanks. Oh, I just hit stop record. Stop streaming. We'll see you on the inside. My bad. Join the platform, join the program, join the community I'm in, and we'll see you on the inside.